So I'm Jess, and I'm the GM for Aquila Sustainable Farming, which is a subsidiary of Aquila Capital. So Aquila Capital bought these farms back in 2011, and it was originally intended as a 5-year investment. And then the downturn in the milk price meant we needed some downside protection and a change of strategy. And so we rolled over the investment for another 5 years and converted the farms to organic. So that came with a whole different set of rules and restrictions, and really a change in the requirements of what we needed from breeding systems. And that's what Aquila's all about. It's about doing things a little bit differently and thinking outside the box.
I'm Adrian Fletcher, manager of McIntosh. So we're certified organic A2. We're 200 hectares, 195 effective. Peak milk 430 cows. And yeah, we've used the red breeding coming into the herd to try and help with the animal health issues and stuff like that around organics. Organics, the main thing is prevention rather than a cure. And we find the reds fit the system really good. Yeah, we find the reds have got a real good up and go, like they're strong, hardy, but they're not wild. Like they've got a good temperament in them as well. We find the Friesians, yeah, they bigger animal and they just don't cope with it as well as the red does. The red, yeah, it's got that real good up and go with them.
We converted the farms to organic. The complete setup of the farm, it changes. We're not chasing milk production with big Friesian cows anymore. We have to be mindful of animal health, longevity of the animal, fertility, because we don't have those tools that your conventional farmer does. And so the breeding selection has to be really targeted to make sure that we're not breeding animals that are more susceptible to mastitis or lameness than they need to be. And for breeding, we don't have the ability to use synchronizing hormones or seeders. And so we need animals that are really going to stand the test of time and provide us with really good replacements in the future, so that we can try and keep our herds completely internal. We don't want to have to keep buying in external animals. And it provides a much more sustainable system. So that's why the red breed is so good, because it completely fits with the values that we're attributing to traits we need in our animals.
Yeah, well, we're finding that the red ones are cycling good and strong, so fertility's definitely in there. We're also finding with the black hooves, we're getting a lot less lameness from it, because New Zealand farms predominantly walking quite a distance to the shed to and from every day. The better tolerance towards heat, being the red and stuff like that. They're not getting heat stress as much as a black animal, or the eczema and stuff like that as the black and whites are from your Friesians. So we're finding those really good results. And the udders are getting nice udder conformation, and they're staying up nice and high. We're not getting saggy udders and stuff like that become a problem in the shed. Yeah, we've done our first scan that gives us our 6-week in calf rate. So this year we're sitting at 74% for 6 weeks, which is at the top end of what guys are getting over here, even conventional guys, let alone organic. And we've got to do our second scan in March, but I've got a real good feeling that we'll be under 12% empty, because yeah, there's not much happening out on farms. They're pretty quiet, so that's good.
It's a trend we see actually across all the farms. 6-week in calf rates average somewhere between 70 and 72%. So Adrian's farm is definitely one of the top performers.
Yeah.
But even across the whole group, we've seen really good results, which we're pleased with. That's probably one of the hardest questions, because I talked about the term investment, and 2011 plus 10, you do the maths, and we're already a year beyond when that investment should have ended. And so the future for us looks like trying to prioritise the longevity of our sustainable system. It works. We've proved a really successful system. And what we'd like to do is end the investment with a new buyer that is respectful of what we've done and what we've tried to achieve, and is willing to carry it on into the future. And with any luck and a bit of hard work, I think it's achievable. Plan's working, so it's not broken. We're not going to change it. At the moment, we have to be quite mindful that across all of our herds, we've got a mixture of different types of Scandinavian straws. So we want to make sure that we're just careful about the genetics that we pick. But for the moment, the breeding plan is targeted. It's using what we think are the right breeds. This is only our first year of milking these heifers, and so speaking the story of success, I think we'll carry on with that for the foreseeable at least. You know, the Scandinavian red breeds, they work, so we'll keep using them as long as they keep working.